And hello, world, from IBM.TV. I'm your host, Kimberly Calhoun, and we are doing world news about the coronavirus. And with us today, we have Sasha. Good morning, Sasha.
Hi, good morning, Kim.
Wow, I can hear you really well this morning. Our technology is getting better.
Good, good. Yesterday there were some noises, background noises. I wrote to you email about that.
Yeah, we're working on that. Sometimes that just can't be controlled. It's other people's environments. In TV, in the world of real TV, when we're in a station, we can control that. But when
Right.
people are out and about, that's very difficult to control unless you have very highly sophisticated gear like this and some cameras that bubble out the noise from a certain distance. So
Sure. You
that,
know, I was watching today CNBC, which is one of the top stations. Nick knows about that for sure. Even they have technical problems because all of them are located in their apartments or houses, residences, and it's very difficult to coordinate who says and what says, and sometimes they interrupting each other. It's never happened before for obvious reasons. So,
right. I think our internet is really down. And before we get started, many blessings for a brighter future tomorrow. May we have facts, not fear, folks. But Sasha has a good point there. Other people are experiencing the technical problems that we have. When you go on location and you got so many people on locations, as we would call this on location, you're going to have some difficulties, some interference, some noise interference, and it's very, very complicated to control all of this at one time. So we've got, I think, our whole board here. Good morning.
Morning, morning, morning.
Many blessings for a brighter future. So, folks, I don't, in our side of the world, I was just notified very late last night that 15 students from Duke University have been diagnosed with the coronavirus, as well as some people in Fuquay-Varina, which is a very small country town south of here. And so it has spread. They have taken extreme precautions now in North Carolina. We haven't shut our borders yet. The grapevine rumor is eventually that we're going to shut our borders. I don't know how you can do that. But we are taking extreme measures. No more dining in restaurants. We're not doing the safety measures that they're doing in India, where they measure the temperature. They said no more gatherings at all. So yesterday it was, hey, it's okay to have 100 people in your restaurant. It's okay to have 100 people at the bar. And today they realized how stupid that was. They weren't even following the CDC rules. So there's a reason why that this is a pandemic, is that it's not your flu. It is a virus that can damage your organs and body. So anyway, welcome everybody to a happy morning.
Welcome.
Hi,
well, thank you. Hi.
good morning.
Hi, Willie. Hi.
Hi, hi. Hi, how are you?
Fine. So Nick, why don't you give us the financial update? That's the thing everybody.
Yeah, you guys don't want to hear this. Frankly, I got a lot of people working here today, so it's been really noisy. So I'm going to mute out so you don't get the ambient noise. But I did check the Dow, and it wasn't pretty, which, by the way, we predicted. And we predict this will continue probably for the next several months. So it's bad, and it's going to get worse. And the reason why is you haven't heard well, right now it's only down 872 points. It was down over 1,000. You haven't heard the worst of this, because next month they're going to start reporting the unemployment figures, and they're going to be drastically higher. And that's going to go on through April and May, maybe all the way till June. So what we're looking at is a 20,000 market. But I believe it's on its way continuously down. It'll go up and down with a downward trend. Then we believe probably in June or July will be your buying opportunities. Now, once you buy, it's because this thing will level out. The market will surge back tremendously. And that's the prediction of our think tank. And we manage, I can't tell you how many hundreds of millions of dollars. in pensions in Salt Lake, but we do, and so we're all of ours are in fixed assets, so it doesn't really affect our pensions, but does affect our 401k profit sharing plans. Kim, you remember meeting Dennis? Okay, the menace. Okay, right. Now, it's my prediction. I haven't seen his latest report that his customers probably lost about the neighborhood of 300 to 600 million in the last month. That is not unusual. So the panic starting after the next couple months will not be the coronavirus, and I'm talking about around July. It's going to be the economic crisis and panic that we're all going to experience, because it's going to have a worldwide effect on that. So if you look at the trends, what we're going to do is we're going to see the panic. They're taking the right measures, don't get me wrong. Okay, they're taking the right measures, secluding people. The pandemic will still increase because we didn't move soon enough. Then it'll level out. It'll come back down, and when it starts coming back down, the market will rebound. But right now, the market's going to reflect this, and we believe it's not going to be good, and we're just going to have to deal with that.
So I'm sharing a screen here with everybody.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. I haven't seen this. Okay, if this is Italy, this is huge for Italy, because we lost.
Yeah, go ahead.
We lost about 3.5, maybe 4 trillion already in the United States. But what's 4 trillion? Unfortunately, that's our entire economy in 1 year. But Italy losing 2.4 trillion is unbelievably huge. And
this is Bloomberg, folks. Yeah. This isn't IBM TV. I just want to share with you. We haven't crunched our numbers, but how realistic is it to determine in 4 to 5 weeks we're going to hit a 2 point? Because I read somewhere else a 2.7 trillion problem. Is that realistic, Nick? In 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's very realistic. Italy had financial issues coming into this with a high debt to GDP ratio. Now, the United States has it, but not as high as Italy and Greece. So they were under EU sanctions, basically, to keep their finances under control. This is going to throw off all their plans. It's the black swan that actually our think tank predicted it, but we didn't know when it was going to happen. We thought it was going to be 2020 or 2021. We advised many of our clients to move out of equities and into fixed instruments. Several did not move fast enough, and we believe they've lost millions of dollars. But as advisors, we can only tell them what we think, but the thing is, they're the clients that make the ultimate decision. So what we believe will happen is that you're going to see the markets continually go up and down with a downward trend. Where does it bottom? Where's the buying signals? Well, maybe 14,000 and 12,000. It's right now at 20. Right. And then that's the biggest opportunity in the world. That's when I did all my buying. You notice that, hey, look, the real problem is once you get back in, you're probably not going to have much of a chance, because it'll rebound very quickly. In other words, it's going to rebound as fast as it went down. It's going to go back up. And so if you're late, in other words, our prediction is, I'm looking at maybe June or July to be the buying opportunity. May not be at the complete bottom of the market, but you're going to be pretty close. And then catch the rebound on the way up. It may continue to go down in June and into July, but then it'll rebound in August and September. So that's really what we're looking at, barring any other things. However, in the meantime, those are people who are just investing in the market. A lot of people don't invest in the market. 50% of the people in the United States have no financial assets whatsoever in the market.
A lot of people, they live day by day.
They live what they call paycheck to paycheck. Here's how it's going.
What I call they're the slaves to our top 1% of the country.
Exactly. Okay, so here's how it's going to affect them. They're going to lose their jobs. Okay, I mean, bottom line is they're going to lose their jobs. Unemployment is going to surge. Mnuchin, who's our Secretary of Treasury, said, look, if we don't put a big fiscal strategy together, we could expect 20% unemployment in the United States, which is almost depression level.
So let me ask you about this real quick, because the people who are invested in stocks and it tanked really bad now, will some of them not ever recover? Some of these will never recover again.
No, they will recover. See, this was
all of them will.
Yeah, it's a function of one thing called time. This was the myth in 2008, because we experienced this in 2008. the market went down tremendously, 37% one year. And we had a lot of naysayers, but the ones that were in the market, a lot of them, we just said, hey, just, you're in for the ride, buddy, ride it out, right? Ride it out and ride it up. And they did, and they were okay by around 2012. So the real problem is it may be 4 years or 5 years before you fully recover. And it may be faster than that, given the nature of what happened here. In other words, the coronavirus isn't a market correction due to how you say the bankers over lending or anything like that. It's a unique phenomenon. So the correction, we believe, is going to be a lot faster. And so if you're not going to, it won't last 4 years. It'll probably be 1 or 2 years, and you're going to be back up to close to where we're at right at the peak. Like, no kidding.
This is the tsunami of the world.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Ankit,
Right.
what do you have?
So, I was analyzing the market from past month or so, and the market, all the markets across the globe went down more than 15-20%. But if you study the Chinese market, it's not going as much as what the other markets are dropping down.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
will be the-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What you're going to do is you're going to see a reversal pattern at some point in time. Now, it's interesting. In 2008, I was actually interviewed on TV when the CART program came out, and they said, "What's going to happen to the market?" I said, "It's going to rebound tremendously." They were going like, "Well, it's not the all-time low. Everybody's panicking." I said, "No, that's the opportunity to buy," and it did. And the logic is quite simple. The U.S. government actually funded into TARP about $700-800 billion, almost $1 trillion. With trillion in new cash, the market just took off and exploded, and frankly, exploded all the way until now. So this is the phenomenon we're going to see that's going to happen in the next couple months. According to our think tank in Salt Lake, we actually have a think tank that goes over this every week, at least in terms of where the markets and where to put pension funds. And so the thing is, it's important for us. Almost all of our pension funds, and I'm talking about 99%, are in what they call fixed or equity index annuities, which are totally not market correlated. So they're like in bonds and treasuries and things of that nature. They're in annuities, okay? So they're earning 1% to 4% this year. It's just the nature of how we invest our pension.
You're going to have a class on retirement today at 1. So for people who are really, really bored at home,
Gotta be really
tune in and learn about how to protect your investments.
You got to be really bored to work in the area I work in. I can tell you that right now. This is not exciting stuff. Okay, the tsunami that we're experiencing with the coronavirus is very exciting. If you work with pension funds, it's just not exciting. It's pretty boring. You're working with money, and more money.
What you got to ask there, Sasha? Sasha has a question.
First of all, I just got breaking news. Canada and U.S. closed the border entirely.
Wow.
Except some extraordinary cases, the border is completely closed. No travel. Actually, I have few friends just came back yesterday from Florida, believe it or not. And I have few people from Florida. They're taking a car to drive to Toronto, which is quite a distance, but still, it's doable.
Yeah. Wow, because I was actually going to go I was looking at places to vacation because the opportunities right now are traveling, and there are some hotels that actually have not reflected the down market, like in Charleston, South Carolina, which I have plans to go to, but they have not reflected the realities of their situation yet. It takes a while. There's a lag in the real estate market to this, and you're going to see this lag too. The real estate market is pretty resilient right now to this because it just hasn't affected. It's a lag thing. But what happens is it's like a tsunami. In another almost a year, it takes maybe a year or two before it gets affected. It may not get affected at all because it's a bounce rebound. The real estate market stays pretty resilient. The problem that we're going to see is in next month's reports, because remember, data always comes late. Here's what's going to happen. This is not rocket science. The unemployment net numbers are going to jump. Right now, they're historically all-time low. That's bad to begin with because there's only one way to go, and that's up. With this, the unemployment will surge. Now, your you're a Wall Street manager or corporation, and you see unemployment numbers surge, and you're money managers, you start getting out, which is one reason our prediction is the markets are going to continue to go down, because they're going to look at this bad data, look at all these unemployed people. Now, with the other 50%, how they're affected is they don't get paychecks and they don't eat. The top 1%, their balances just don't look as good. Okay, I lost 300 million. So what? I had 1.3 billion. Maybe it doesn't look as good, but I'm going to go out to dinner tonight anyway. The problem is the 50% that live by paycheck to paycheck, they lose their jobs. Okay, and the thing is, they don't have money to pay for rent. They don't have money to pay for dinners. They don't have money to pay for food. And this is going to be the problem that we're going to see in what they call the gig economy, which is a service economy like Uber and Lyft. And you're also going to see it in the restaurant industry, which is already folding. Look at all the industries that are folding: the restaurant industry, the travel industry, the transportation industry, the airline industry. Okay, all of those industries going south is just not going to be good for the economy.
Now, Nick, one of the things I want to point out is not everything is as devastating around the world as it is here, where we are in North Carolina, where they're shutting down the restaurants and mandating people stay home. One of the things I like about in Australia, which also I want to share some news about Australia, but where Willie is, they got smart and they said, you know what? If you want to be dumb and not mind the rules, then we're going to fine you. If you're one of the people that need to isolate and you want to go out, we're going to. Is that right, Willie? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that is. And so the other thing that's also happened is they've mandated that you self-isolate, and all the legal infrastructure is there to protect the others, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that makes sense. But Australia, if you follow what happened to wildfires there, and I'm sure you did, Willie, since you live in Melbourne, and they came pretty close to Melbourne, from what I understand. But no matter what the government did, the thing that wiped it out was the rainstorms hit, and it just wiped out all the fires. Okay, here's our other prediction. What's going to wipe out this or mitigate this? It's not going to be the hospitals developing antiviruses quick enough and distribute enough. You can't. What's going to mitigate this more than anything is the heat and the humidity basically breaking down the coronavirus. And that's one reason we're also looking at June or July to be the buying opportunities and the turnaround, because we're doing two things that are important: isolation, plus we're just going to get lucky because of the weather pattern changes. Now, some commentators have said, well, maybe this is not resilient like other viruses. Maybe it's more resilient to heat. But the demographics we see, like in Africa, it looks like it is, the heat does affect it. In other words, if you look at all the demographics, I'm talking about an empirical analysis. You're not doing a complete study, but just go look at a world map and see where it hits. Northern Italy, not southern Italy. Middle of Spain, where the climates are warmer, they're not as affected as much. Beijing and the northern end of China get hit. Southern end less so. India not as much as China. So as you head toward warmer climates, you tend to be safer than if you're in colder climates. Now, with that being said, as the northern hemisphere moves into these warmer climates, you're going to see another mitigation of the coronavirus. And then, does it mean it's completely gone? No. It may be dormant and lapse stage, may come back. And this is the reason they need what they call it, a vaccine, because it'll come back with a roaring vengeance in the fall. In other words, it's like it's not mitigated. And so this is what our predictions are. And where you're going to see it, which means on IBM TV, we're still going to be able to ratchet up and do a lot of shows on the coronavirus, because it ain't going to go away next week. I believe we may have the governor of New Jersey on Wednesday, maybe next week, and we also have Dr. Boris Abbey going to join us Monday.
Is the governor going to be next week or this week?
I'm trying to schedule next Wednesday, and I'm trying to schedule. Dr. Boris Abbey plans to appear on Monday, but we're going to have some special guests. I do want to bring in some of the conversations on the cures that are out there. In other words, I would say potential cures. You can't say they're cures, and potential vaccines, because in the long run, that's the thing that's going to really slow this. Is this the latest data we're looking at right now?
This is
Yeah,
the current data. Ankit, do you want to give us a rundown of what our current statistics are? Before you do that, I heard that New York is up to over 1,700 cases now. But go ahead, Ankit.
yeah. So, I mean, as everyone knows, I mean, we are fighting with Corona and it's growing like anything. So the today's numbers are around 8,272 people have
Wow,
already died around the world, and it's
that's a
going at a
huge
faster
leap
rate
from
now.
yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's growing more than 10% every day. But
Mhm.
I'm happy that the recovery is also growing pretty fast because that is also growing with a 10% recovery. But I think that we missed the some data in between that people who have symptoms and who have not been reported. That is what is the missing part. And as far as the deaths are concerned, it's more than 200,000 people have died so far. If I'll do the breakup country wise, so we are not getting any data from Italy. We have a new data from China that they have 11 new deaths and then they have 13 new cases. But I believe that, China information, I'm not sure whether it's filtered properly because I believe there are more things going on in China. Italy is all locked down, so don't have anything about Italy. Iran is also growing, so we have around 1,200 new cases in
Mhm.
Iran only and 147 new deaths so far. Spain is also growing like anything with 2,000 new cases and 90 deaths. Total 623. And if you check the Spain's data, you'll find that how rapidly the things are growing in Spain. So this is the cases on Spain basically. So till 6th of March, they have around 400 people who have reported, and within 10 days, they have around 11,826 people have reported
Wow.
within
Yeah.
a period of like 5 7 days. And this is the new daily cases in Spain. 2,000 new cases, and then 1,100, and likewise. And this is the active current cases in Spain. How rapidly the active cases are also growing. So, and this is also very interesting that on 6th of March, only 8 people have died. Until 16th of March, they have crossed more than 500 people.
Mm. Wow.
So
This sobering
it's
data.
going, yeah. So if I'll talk about France, it's all lockdown. We know that France government has been taking a lot of good steps. They have closed down the utility bills as well. So, I mean, government is taking care of all the utilities in France, and they've urged people to stay back at home. And the army is on the ground right now. In US, we have 890 new cases. To my surprise, most of them are from New York, and seven deaths since yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah,
but
yeah,
notice these are all northern hemisphere countries. In other words, not
yeah.
southern hemisphere, because
True.
again, it's the colder climate countries are getting killed. So that goes back to empirically maybe this thing will break down in the warmer climates when we hit the summer times.
I agree. Basically, it's more about summertime, but I think I mean, a lot of countries still be having winters at that point of time, like Australia, and also once we have the winters back, what will happen? So we still have a lot of doubts in between, and that's how. So if you break up the U.S. section, 774 new cases in New York only,
Yeah.
with 3 deaths. That is alarming, basically. And California is also growing with 20 cases a day. And if I see Northern Carolina, we have 5 new cases.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why, of course, New York is densely populated in the New York City area,
Yeah,
so it spreads a lot
yeah,
faster. So if you take a look at the data, New York's densely populated. Washington State is close to China. In other words, that's where it kind of first came in here, and
yeah.
but it's not as densely populated. So notice the new cases are down. California is spread out, but also very populated. So as you go to the less populated states, you see
Mm.
less cases.
Less cases.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just kind of the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, something I recognized yesterday is a lot of the news stations, the people are starting to work from home like we're doing as well. Some of the weatherman gave the weather report from his house last night. So everybody is taking some of those special actions. A lot of things that people don't understand is this isn't the flu, folks. This is something that can get inside of you and seriously, seriously damage you. And it's not something that just goes away. They have no cure for it, but it will damage. It's got little spikes on it, and it can damage your organs for life. And there was only one article that came out about this because they really didn't want to scare the world. But there are some really good articles out there. John Hopkins has a beautiful white paper. Again, it's the way you ask the question. Somebody asked the question, is this coronavirus like the airborne like the measles? Well, because they said like the measles, they answered no. They got out easy. But then they came back later, and John Hopkins wrote the article. But the bad news is that coronavirus is airborne, and we have reason to believe, we don't know yet, that it could be alive for 3 hours. So we're not trying to spread panic. What we're trying to do is give you information and knowledge that you can make the right choices. So that you wash your hands.
But you know, the thing is, I agree with one commentator who said panic is good. There was some, because you're going to see all this misinformation on the internet. So one person said, well, only 33 people died in the United States, and they posted it. But by the time they posted it, the data was bad. They had already over 100 of them. So I was going like, you know, you're always looking at the data. And what ANKET showed, I thought was good, was that skewing tail upwards on Spain. And that's the real data that that we look at. In other words, we're going, okay, not so bad, not so bad. We didn't do anything. We got destroyed. And so the thing is, this is the real data that we're looking at. And that's one reason why you're trying to, how you say, mitigate that whole situation. Now, data just came in again from the wonderful Wall Street, down about 947, just a little over 20,000. Our prediction, it will go under 20,000, but we predicted that about a month ago. It's not under 20,000 yet, but it will. Okay, just wait and see. Now, will it take place by the end of this week or by Monday of next week? That would be my bet. So if you're shorting the market, you're probably doing pretty good right now. And it's just the way it is.
Here's some advice, people. If you're scared of investing in the market now, invest in a startup. And we're going to start doing some TV shows about businesses. We're going to be running this a little bit longer. And Ankit and Willie, and we're going to get together. We're going to start doing a show about businesses again. And you can now invest in startups. Yeah. Get invested in your local community and help those establishments get back on their feet again when this is over. Become a partner in your community, in the establishments in the community. Right, Ankit?
Yeah, it's time to restart and restart our engine and look for new opportunities and how we can help the world to grow at a much faster pace what it was used to be. So right now it's in halt in between, so we just have to take care of Corona and then move ahead. But we have to be united and we have to think about the global world rather than the individual countries. So that is what the take forward things.
You know, it's like we've been saying, live today to rebuild and play tomorrow, right?
True.
Yeah.
So look at this, Willie. Can you see the screen I put up?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, those are the Australians, mate, that cracked the code.
So have you heard anything on the grapevine down there about this?
No, not yet. I'll get to it. Still on the topic of startups, sorry. Within the structure of startups, I think the best way to do it is with equity crowdfunding, because to enter the equity crowdfunding market, the entry level is not prohibitive, like you have to invest $300,000. It's really very low, you know, and you can get by. To enter the market is easier.
Yes.
Well, you know, in crowdfunding too, you can go to things like Indiegogo.com, Kickstarter, GoFundMe.
Yep.
And you can
Yep.
see businesses. We're going to be doing some shows of new startups from all over the world. We're going to give them exposure like a Shark Tank, but a little friendlier, right? And we're going to give people a chance to hear also how businesses are going to strive through the coronavirus. That there are ways to get through this, and we're going to start giving some advice. Say you're at home and you came up with an idea. Well, watch this. We're going to give you some ideas on how to turn that into a better idea and get it out there and make money on it. Because there's no sense in coming up with these great ideas and not what
Also,
execute.
we will help them optimize their current business, which is offline, and how we can convert that into an online business. That
That's
is
right.
also we can help them out, because we have a board of advisors across the globe. And then if someone wants to do some business in Australia, Russia, US, Canada, India, Japan, we are open for
We have
collaboration.
contacts all over the world. We've got even the people who are not showing up on our show that are from other parts of the world. We have over about 100 people that are officially board of advisors and contacts that we can reach out to and share these resources to. And just because they don't watch us live doesn't mean that they're not going to watch that show later. So we're going to give that. Also, there's books out there on how to implement on your startup or on your business. But don't just sit around being bored. Heck, go watch movies. I'm posting a free new movie every day. They're free out there anyway, but I'm finding them and making them easier for you to watch them. But there's a lot of free movies out there. Every day I'm posting one or two. I kind of look at them and go, oh, that looks interesting. There's also a lot of paid for movies, but now's not the time to spend a lot of money. Am I right, Nick?
Yeah, depending where you're at financially, I would say yes. It's probably not a good idea to frivolously spend money. Watch a lot of the free movies that are out there, and there's a lot of the content that's out there. We have a lot on IBM TV. We did notice our
great content. We've talked to all the world leaders.
Yeah, our numbers pick up dramatically during the coronavirus. There are some things that are counter-cyclical to the coronavirus, but it is what it is out there. The what we're going to see is that more people are actually learning how to view things online. Remember, a lot of the young people they know how to do that, but as you get senior, it's less and less.
We can run a class for them.
I would have thought that golf would have picked up, because you can at least be 100 feet away from everybody if everybody played the game by themselves. But it seems like the golf course, an acre or two behind me, is closed down. The two schools near me, the one next door and the one across the street, have closed down. The one across the street closed down because I was told they became infected. And then the school next door to me closed down due to the governor saying all schools will close down. So what I learned, though, which is interesting, is schools in other states, I think Arizona being one of them, Kansas being another, is they sent their children home with work to do during this time out. So they didn't stop learning. And I'm sure that they've arranged for some sort of online connect, and even for the children who probably wouldn't have that access. But they're sending the children home with work to do. One of the states told the children that they're done for the year, no more school for the rest of the year. And I don't know what they have decided here. How about where you're at, Sasha? What's it like with the schools and things like that, the communities?
Okay, for the next 2 weeks, all schools, I'm not sure in Canada, but in Ontario, they're all locked down. Maybe in Canada this fall. So now parents don't know what to do with their children and how to entertain them, babysit, and it depends on age and so on. I think it's a healthy thing, and I think that was the right thing to do. Hopefully in 2 weeks' time, they will start back again. Nick, I wanted to elaborate on what you said about the financial situation. I'm very curious about one thing. A friend of mine 2 months ago, 3 months ago, before it's all started, definitely. His theory was that everything, all money will go to a stock market simply because there is no alternative. I mean, even today, as we speak, even the bloody Boeing, believe it or not, is paying about, what, 6% dividend. Well, it probably will cut as we speak, but still 6%. Okay, forget about Boeing for a sec. But there are healthy stocks, like in especially health industry, like ABBY, for example. They're paying almost about 6% dividend. Even Altia, they're paying what, 8.5% dividends, and they have very healthy balance sheets. Where else can you get alternative? Okay, they can go down in value a little bit more. They probably will, but still, you'll make it up by collecting dividends anyway.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. First of all, your person's theory that the market was up because there's no other place for money to go is correct. When they had the interest rates drop so low to 1%, now it's even less than 1%. Where CDs right now you struggle to get 2%. There's absolutely nowhere else to go except the market. So you're going to have to put a certain amount of your money at risk, where you're not going to be able to live. As I told people, some of my clients, they came in 1984 and they had $1 million in the bank, and I said, "Well, how you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm doing pretty well. I've got I'm making 10 or 11% on my CDs. I make $110,000 a year. $1 million bank at 10%. That's 1984. I had the same person come in today. I said, "How you doing?" "Well, I got $1 million in the bank and I'm in poverty." "Why is that?" "I only make 1% or less. I'm making 10,000 a year, and the poverty level in the United States is 15,000. So oddly enough, a millionaire in the U.S. can be in poverty because they invest in fixed instruments. So what do? They had to go to the market, and that artificially brought up the market for the last 10 years, basically. The Fed did nothing to change this, and all they had to do is up interest rates. And boy, the market would go back down again because people would move back into the fixed rates, but they didn't do that. But that gives us very little maneuvering room in times like this, as we have an overflated market. So now the question is, what am I going to do with my money? Well, we're seeing a movement into real estate because real estate is not correlated to the market right now. Like I said, it will lag the market. So the real estate activity here is pretty heavy. As a matter of fact, I got to go. I'm buying and selling properties right now, so I'm gonna have to leave to go buy one, and I got another one that's being sold, and we just sold another one. So what happens? The real estate market is so robust, and it's probably going to stay that way in spite of the fact technically it shouldn't, because it will lag and fall. But it's going to lag and fall, just like it did in 2008. So everything that we see here today, this is nothing unusual. It is what it is. But now, if somebody has cash, I mean, they're not going to move in the market now. They got to be crazy because they're just going to write it down. But if they hold out for a couple months, look at this in August, look at in maybe July, there's buying opportunities. And right now, I'm so shocked to see some of the stock prices. It remind me of 2008.
A very quick comment. Don't you think that stock market has already discounted poor earnings and unemployment?
Quite possible. See, that is something that we're thinking of. But remember, a lot of this is emotionally driven and also news driven. There are some stocks I look at, like General Electric right now is trading at $6.53 a share from 30 a share a year ago. Okay, look at all the upside of GE. I mean, I'm going like, wow, I was going to buy at 10, and now it's at 650. I said, what are you, not buying at 650 a share? General Electric, hello, pick up 1,000 shares here. Now, is it at the bottom? Probably not. I think it still has a little bit more to go, but not much. And so this is what we're seeing in the market. There are buys out there, but then there's stocks like Apple. Apple doesn't look like a buy. I bought it at 100 a share a couple of years ago. It's still trading over like 280 a share. There's no bargain to buy Apple stock. I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, Apple's going up right now.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's using their phone.
It's down 2.2% as of today, trading at 247 a share. But Kim, I have a real problem buying a stock at 247 when I owned it at 100. When it fell to under 100, I purchased. I was going, good deal. Sad part is I quickly made 20% and I sold it. I should have just kept the bloody thing.
Can I ask a question about stock? I took a class about a year ago. Remember, you told me not to pay those people, but I did.
No.
So anyway, but they were talking about buying low and making money. Is that something that people who have bet low on this, could they have made a lot of money?
Yes. I mean,
there are few people who did that.
Yeah. Right. But the thing is, realize it's the professionals who do really well at this.
Right.
In
right.
other words,
that was the best paid for class I've taken in years.
Yeah. The thing is, the real problem is you have a lot of people that dabble in it, and they get killed. Now, Warren Buffett was pretty interesting, and because I have to tell his story was this. And remember, Warren has managed a lot of money during his lifetime, and he's made a lot of money by managing it. He goes, just buy an S&P 500 fund, pay the lowest amount of fees in the S&P 5 index fund, forget about it. And he even did a challenge, because all these money gurus are out there. Oh, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, right? He goes, if you can beat that in 5 years, I'll give you $5 million. And he had a bunch of people that he challenged. They went and they tried. He wasn't even going to ask them an entry fee. He says, I'll just give you $5 million, right? None of them won. Every one of them lost to the S&P 500 index fund. Every financial guru lost. Okay, so that gives me a little pause for thought that most people, they can't, even though they can say, we can do this, we can do that, but it's a complete shell game. Let me get an idea of the shell game. A mutual fund has maybe 100 funds out there, and some are going to do good, some are going to do bad. So now you're going to sell, hey, I got Jones Mutual Fund. And what they do is they're going to show you, oh, here's the one that went up last year. You should really get into my funds. They don't show you the 99 that crashed, so it's a complete shell game. So the thing is, who's it's like this. If you ever go to a poker table and you can't find who the mark is, you are. Okay, right. The thing is, you're the guy who's going to get it. Okay, so the thing is, if you're going to go in the market and you don't know who the mark is, the person who's going to get fleeced, guess what? It's you if you don't know that. And that's just kind of how it is. But Warren Buffett, when he said that, I was going, he may have a little point here. You just drop it in the S&P 5 index fund, forget about it, and you just beat. And there were studies done on that 90% of the money managers will not beat the S&P 500 in any given year, and over 5 years, apparently none.
Well, I've concluded this week that the whole stock market is just a legal means of gambling. It really is.
Well,
you put your money up, and you're betting on that's going to make it.
Yeah,
you put your money up, you're betting it's not.
That's where you put what I call your fun money. And when you talk about dividend stocks, because I did go into Norwegian Transport, it was a high-paying dividend. I mean, close to 10%. It did quite well for a while until they cut their dividend. And then their stock, Sasha, tanked. Guess what happened to my investment? It tanked too. Okay, so I played the high dividend game, and I'm going like, oh, it was fun for a little while, but the high dividends, because you look at these stocks out there, and some of them do pay some pretty good dividends. And as the market goes down, the dividends as a percentage actually increase. So you're going, I should give it a shot and go after this high dividend stock. And then guess what? They're going to cut their bloody dividend. And then guess what happens to your stock? Join. Okay. Well, what are you going to do here?
Guess what else has just happened? I was talking about this being like a big gambling game. Vegas shut down.
I got a report from Kim. You remember Drew Giovannis in Las Vegas? He reported to me yesterday. He goes, and he makes his living on investments. And he makes his living on gambling, and he's a professional poker, chess, world-class backgammon player. So he plays all these games. He's an expert chess player, world-class backgammon player, and professional investor in the market. And he goes, they just shut down Las Vegas.
Well, I got an idea for them. They can gamble their money on the startups that we're going to start.
Yeah, okay. So if you want
to put their money on something a little more sure, right?
So, but if you want to look at a stock that will rebound very quickly, go to MGM. Okay, MGM is hammered right hammered right now. Okay, and the thing is, I believe it's going to still have a way down, but I mean, it's down from like 30 a share to $8 or $9 a share, and may go down even further. On the rebound, MGM becomes a big buy. There's just no question about it, because the people of Las Vegas is a very resilient city. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
The real estate market crashed during 2008. Las Vegas crashed, and boy, they came back with a vengeance. I mean, all the real estate market is up right now. It's just the way it is in Las Vegas. But MGM right now is being hammered. And this is in the next couple months, there will be the best buying opportunities in the market I've seen in a decade.
And here's the thing about Vegas. This couldn't have been better planned out for them, because they're going to shut down now. But DevCon and some other extremely large conferences that bring in 300,000 people are going to be, they're there this summer.
Yeah.
So this is probably going to be cleaned up by summertime, and people are going to be ready to travel that normally don't travel, and they're all going to go to these conferences, and they're going to get back to Vegas, and those prices are going to be way up there. I mean, generally, when I go to one of the big conferences in Vegas, you're going to pay $500 for a room that you pay $65 for any other time. So I'm hoping that Vegas will become a little more humble, lower their prices.
No, not immediately. But see, MGM stock, okay, to give you an idea how bad it was hammered. In February, it was trading at $31.80 a share, February 13th. Today, it's $8.06 a share. Now, think about it. Within 1 month, it went from $31 to $8. Okay. Now, but hear me out on the math. Is there any corporation that's worth like pennies on the dollar within 30 days? No. I mean, so the thing is, you're getting a phony downward valuation. Although right now, it lost $1.49 a share, so it's down 15.6% in one day. I mean, but let me tell you, this is where the opportunities are going to going to come to us to buy a stock like MGM on the turnaround. It's just. And if you don't, normally I don't play the options market because I think it's really, really bad. But let me tell you something. The best I've never seen in the next couple months, I think you're going to have the best opportunities. And if you don't, it may be another decade before you have a chance to get back in again. Not at these levels.
Listen, Nick, why don't you sell puts on MGM?
Well, because it's pretty close to a very low, yeah. But
so puts, I mean, so you will look what if they're exercised?
You're right. You're right. I mean, the thing is, I should have put the market right now. I mean, you could almost do almost any stock. Yeah, and I should doing puts on MGM probably would not be bad. I think it still has some downward spiral to go. It's not. I looked at it yesterday. Then my problem is I'm putting all my cash into real estate. So the thing is, I'm going like, but what I'm going to do shortly, I'm going to get some cash out and I'm going to go back in, because the thing is, the opportunities are going to be there, Sasha.
Yes, sure. I'm about to sell some puts on MGM.
Yeah. All those things will come back, but right now they're just getting absolutely hammered. But what you said is really important. Has the market adjusted for the downturn already? In other words, is 868? It's right now at 807 a share. Is that the floor, or is the floor around 6?
Well, guess what? MGM is paying about 6% dividends.
Well, obviously they're paying more if you can buy at $8 a share. But see, here's the thing. Watch what will happen. The board will get together and say we're going to suspend dividends.
Yeah.
So your 6% dividend, you're not going to see that. So that's like.
A few days ago, I bought at a very low price one of the Gabelli's funds. It's an income and dividend fund.
Yeah.
Now, the reasons that I bought it is, first of all, it was a really very, very low price like you've never seen before. But also, they already declared 3 months non-stop paying dividends for April, May, and June.
Right.
So I will definitely get out of it in June, but I will collect this 3 months dividends.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to play the dividend market correctly.
8.5%.
Yeah. But the thing is, the viewers that are sitting out there and they're going nothing to do. If you want to see something that's wild, go go follow the market and look for buys probably in the next couple of months. Yeah, retirement plan classes tonight. I mean, within 2 hours, with 2 hours from now. But again, we're talking about really boring stuff. I mean, it's not like
if you're already bored at home, learn something. People try to use this opportunity to re-educate yourself and retrain yourself for something far greater than what you were doing yesterday.
Oh, Kim, I think it's 1 o'clock EST.
Sorry about that, folks. 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock EST. It's going to be produced by our group in Salt Lake City, and Max is probably going to be leading that discussion. But that's at 1 o'clock at Eastern Standard Time.
You know what, folks? This is real subject matter experts talking about real retirement. Why not go out and educate yourself instead of just sitting around being bored? If you're tired of reading books, there are some good books out there. We're going to be getting some subject matter experts on how to detox the mind, how to detox the body, and how to become healthy. Use this time to become more informed and educated. Don't just sit there and be bored. And if you're alone or if you need help and you can't reach anyone, but you're here talking to us, then go ahead and send us an email. Go live at ibm.tv and we'll try to help you.
My tennis group just canceled because of the coronavirus. They're not even playing tennis at the Golf and Country Club. Can you believe that?
Nick, I got an idea.
I'm crying right here, right now.
And I want people to know. There you go, right here, right now. There you go. That's
right
good book. Also, people.
Former Prime Minister of Canada, Harper.
Yeah.
Fantastic book. Really, really interesting book.
Really, right here, right now. Well, let's get him on. Is he still the Prime Minister? I thought this guy Trudeau took over or something.
Oh yeah, no, former Prime Minister.
Oh, former Prime Minister, yeah. Well, Sasha, I planned my visit up to Canada, and now you just really told me I can't go anymore. I was going to go visit Martin Gomez up in Newfoundland or wherever he is, up in Nova Scotia, but now you shut me off. So I guess I got to go to India, and I looked at plane tickets to Goa, so I was going to go visit Ankit in New Delhi on the way over there. Yeah. And now he tells me I'm not invited there. Okay, so now I guess I got to go to Australia. How are we doing down there, mate?
Very good, very good.
Are your borders open or are they closed?
We're open, but you have to self-isolate for 14 days.
Wow.
You mean I got to fly to Australia and then self-isolate for 14 days?
Yep.
Here you go, guys. Here's a book to read. It's great. Washington Lawyer, written by your beloved one, Nick Palaveda. It's very entertaining. It's very educational because it's what I call true fiction, based on true story. Also, do me a favor when you're doing a run on things. Don't buy these out. Save these for me. These are my most favorite things. If we run out of these, I'm going to cry. So, I'm going to put up weight. But this is a good book. I have got a stockpile of great books. There's how to, learn to play chess, a small, interesting story that Elliot Neff wrote. And there's children's books on how to learn how to play. You know what? As an adult, this might not be a bad idea. And this is Susan Polgar wrote these.
Susan's been on our show also, by the way.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you can learn how to play chess. You can learn how to be a lawyer, or what cases not to go after. There's just so much out there. I read all the time. I read the National Geographic every month. There's just so much to learn and gain knowledge of, and children. Oh, we got a book. Hold on. Okay, Adrian D. DeGrout, Thought and Choice in Chess. There we go. Also, I am told by our chess cult that we have here at IBM.TV, we have a chess cult, that they're going to get out there and start doing some chess camps for children, virtual chess camps.
Virtual chess camps. That's a great idea.
So they're trying to get the equipment together. I'm training some people today in Nashville how to use the equipment. Finally, they're like, would you please show us how to use this. We don't want to film and post produce anymore. So I'm giving a training class this afternoon on how to do this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, having a virtual chess class is actually not a bad idea. It's something that you can do. And on the internet, I did check Netflix stock, very resilient. It's actually up right now. I think all the internet stocks, in other words, they're solely based on, are very resilient to this. If not, they're going to have a positive effect. Speaking of which, can we buy stock in Zoom? And
GoToMeeting?
no, GoToMeeting is owned by Microsoft. So the thing is, you have to buy Microsoft, which also includes a lot of other baggage that goes with it. I just want a complete play into a internet-based stock like Zoom, and so I'm gonna go check.
That guy is making a fortune. You know, I met him. I can't remember. It's Eric, I think. I met him 2 years ago at a conference in San Francisco, and he was, I think, doing a series, another round of raising funds.
Too late, buddy. We should have bought Zoom. Zoom stock is zooming up. It's running total counter-cyclical to the market. In other words, when the market was down, was up in February, it has gone up tremendously. Zoom.
It's going up with the coronavirus count.
Exactly. See, Zoom is a pure play in the internet. Pure play. They don't have a lot of ancillary businesses that could drag it down. So today they're up 3.13%. In February, they were trading at $73 a share. Today, $114. So in a month, they've almost, they haven't doubled, but they've gone up 50% while the rest of the market's gone down. See, Zoom is what I call pure play on the internet. If you can find pure internet play stocks, those are the ones to get. This one may have already been priced, but I think it's going to go up even higher because I found a lot of people that I know, they've never worked these online programs like Zoom, GoToMeeting. What's the StreamYard, the one we're using? Can we buy StreamYard stock?
Yes, I think you can.
I'm going to go check because the thing is
privately held. One of the things I like about StreamYard is they are immediate response customer service. So I can sit here and type to them right now and say I'm having problems live.
Yeah, but it's not publicly traded. It's not. See, the thing is, it's not publicly traded, so you can't do a play on it. You can buy Zoom stock. Zoom is already zooming up. StreamYard, if you could buy it, would be a super buy because it's going to be on its way up. It's pure. It's what I call a pure internet play. Even chess.com, pure internet play. Stock's got to be great, but chess.com's privately held, so you never know. And that's the advantage of some of the startups. They're not really report to Wall Street, so you don't have the emotional effect as I'm down or I'm up. It doesn't affect you. So the thing is, that's startups, but there are certain sectors that still do well in this. The internet sector is going to do really well, and frankly, the biotech sector, if you can find those.
I think too, our medical profession is going to see an upswing. We're going to see more need of medical professionals. We're going to see more need of community service professionals, EMTs, police. I think you're going to see a more at home related jobs and careers becoming more of a trend up, because people are going to say, what can I do to keep me home more often? The internet, of course, will be one of them. I foresee a means to pre-screen people via remote and virtual. I think these are going to be trending solutions that people need to start working on now. I see Bitcoin climbing because we know that, as I've always pointed out my dollar bill here, this is probably the most filthiest germ-carrying piece of currency that we have. Credit cards will probably go up, but if you hand the credit card to somebody, you've just contaminated you and them.
Yep.
I mean, I foresee a change. Chinese police are wearing what? Let's take a look at this. This is pretty phenomenal.
I'm going to have to go. I will catch you guys later.
Thank you, Nick, for the financial update.
Thank you, Nick.
See you tomorrow.
Blessings for a brighter future, Nick. All right. Well, that was good and bad news, depending on who you are, right?
Yeah.
sound up on this?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I have seen these. I have worked with those helmets. They're the heat infrared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they saying that they can detect the disease or the virus?
So they are doing the same thing which I was doing with the gun. So they are just
Yes.
checking the body heat, and then accordingly they'll put up the person in isolation.
Wow, they're taking this serious. So I have actually worn these glasses. I've got a video. I'm glad to see that they're starting to do this. I was wondering if there was a way that we could scan the human body to see if the germ and virus is in us. Interesting enough, whatever you touch, you can see the imprint for a long time because of the heat that you left behind. So these glasses will make you very aware of how often people touch things. They're phenomenal. Do you have a name brand of those helmets and glasses?
No. I got it from South China Post basically.
So I
So I
think it
follow a lot
was
of people.
Ericsson that came up with some of those that I played with. They were using them for oil rigs so that they could train people virtually how to go in and do things. But interestingly enough, the infrared was showing them other things that they didn't know existed. And so they started using it for tools like this. So yeah, this is
I've invited a couple of participants today. Is there anyone
Backstage.
ready to join backstage? Because I can't see anyone from
uh,
my angle.
so yeah, there's going to be somebody coming here in a minute. Why? Do you see someone?
I can't see someone because you have that control basically. But I've invited a couple of people, and then they're
No,
calling
I
me.
don't see anyone backstage yet. Are they trying to
Okay.
get in?
Yeah, they were trying to get in. They were calling me, so I was not sure.
Can you send it again?
I'll try to do it. Yeah.
Okay. And I've also got somebody who's a businessman down in Miami that owns a very big company. Once he, is a trend, the new trending products, and he's, from another country as well. And I think he was going to try to dial in, but he had to take his wife to the doctors today. They're getting ready to have a baby during all of this coronavirus. And I don't know, I'm calling this, we're going to have to call this before Corona BC and after Corona AC, right? So, I mean, this is redefining the world. We had a
Absolutely.
few other moments of this, like when the earth shifted and the dinosaurs died off, right?
Absolutely.
We also need to take a look at the things that have survived all of the drama and traumatic things that have happened over the thousands and millions and billions of years. I've always been one to believe the cockroaches won, and the way that they've survived is they learned how to multiply really fast. Certain rodents like rats and mice, they have learned to overcome any bad trauma to the world, and they learn to multiply, right? And that's how their species survived, was they learned to multiply faster. But I've always looked at the roach. It's going to be here forever. I don't care what disease there is in this world. If the world shifts, it can survive cold. It can survive heat. Ankit, what have you got? Do we have anybody in backstage?
I've invited Dr. Sagu, so I think he's trying to join. And
Okay.
we are talking about Europe basically, and Europe trying to close the borders mutually in concern with all the countries. And the situation in Europe is little dicey because the symptoms and the coronavirus is growing very fast within a week's time, and that is what they're planning to close down the complete Europe shutdown basically. In fact, a lot of business community in India, they have, sent a letter to the Prime Minister that can we close down the business in India for a while so that people will be safe? And once everyone is safe, then we have that isolation period for 2 weeks, and then we can restart everything. That is what the discussion going on right now.
Well, that's our message to the world, right? Let's live for today, do what's necessary, and live for today so that we can rebuild and play tomorrow. We're talking 4 weeks, and I'm going to share a story with you guys. Many years ago, I had to have a very rare surgery, and I had to be incapacitated for a very long time, for many, many months, 3 months to 6 months. And when they told me incapacitated, I had no idea that they meant I couldn't move my hands, my body, anything. Um, so I had to do it though. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here today. And so I did it. And in my mind, I kept telling myself I can do this 3 months. But to be honest with you, I look back now, that 3 months, it went by faster than I thought. Every day it didn't feel like it was going by fast. But 4 weeks to me is nothing. To be confined for 4 weeks is nothing.
True.
Most people just do it and find something to keep you busy, and it's going to be over with before you know it. And then we're all going to be safe, right?
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
just a matter of your life and your, I mean, loved one's life basically. So if you think that you can protect your life and you protect your humanity and you protect your loved ones, you have to take such steps.
That's right. I mean, in India, what are some of the things that you're doing right now?
So we are doing a lot of prayers and blessings, and we are trying to keep everything calm and try to live a normal routine. But people who, I mean, who can stay at home and do work from home, and who don't have to rush to the outside world, so they are staying at home. And I mean, the people who can go and then, I mean, for living in bread and butter, so they are doing their job because. But I had a word with one of my friends. He works with WHO, and he said that the people are who are not active employees in WHO, who are part-time employees. So they have been told them they have to go home, and it's like a work from home for them. But people who are full-time in WHO around the world, they have to work really hard, because this is the time where WHO shows to the world that how WHO can care to this globe and what they can do with all those. I mean, people with symptoms and what kind of help they can collaborate. So WHO is doing a, I mean, it's a bridge gap between all the countries, and that is what they are doing right now to make the world more safe and more secure.
Exactly. I mean, we are at the point now that we need to say what's more important for our families and the world and the community. And, get out those board games. Get out, go play the piano or your violin that's been sitting in the closet, or the guitar. Sasha, you're a musician as well, right?
Oh yeah, I spend a lot of time these days on music, and I'm doing two things. Number one, I'm listening to music on YouTube, very selectively. I'm listening to a lot of classical music, especially if you like Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto. You can listen, thanks to YouTube, which is incredible. You can listen to all great pianists like Horowitz and many others. Listen to this. Remember this movie Shine, where this young pianist he got unfortunately. But by the way, I flew with real Geldof. I flew once in the same plane, from Toronto to New York, and he was with his. This woman who manages him, and it was quite interesting. And I attended his concert in Toronto. Yeah, of course, yeah, he's not a healthy man, with all due respect, but it was still very enjoyable to listen his program. He changed few things actually. He had about 5 or 6 pieces, and he replaced 2 pieces without any announcement. He played something different, and then he played them in different order as well. But still, it was very enjoyable. And so you can listen to all this. Remember that he played the cadence of the first part, and that's where his brain went. Um, in a different mode, and he became very, very ill as a result. So you can listen to this cadence in the interpretation of all great pianists, like from Rachmaninoff himself to Horowitz to Kissin to many, many different. I like Bronfman's version, but you know why? Because he played it in Tokyo with Japan Symphony Orchestra, and they had probably the best technical equipment. And that's why his recording is so enjoyable. Yeah, his playing is great, no, nothing, but I don't think he's a better pianist than Vladimir Horowitz or Rachmaninoff himself. But still, the technique is absolutely incredible. And then, of course, I spent a lot of time on piano. I'm playing. I'm not really taking new pieces to learn. For some reason, I believe that the old pieces that I know how to play and I play them, they're just much better music than the new pieces. So why would they play inferior new pieces instead of great old pieces? And of
But
course,
this is a good time to practice and become even better, maybe create new music and create new sounds. I mean, we can do so many things just now that we're confined to home, those things that we always say we can do. And you know what, guys? I want to welcome Juan Romero. Welcome. Many blessings for a brighter future. Thank you for joining us. Juan is a businessman. I met him down in Miami. Juan, you've been busy this morning, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So share with us. Juan is doing a business that is a very fast growing, trending business in our day and time. He started this out of something that he was very passionate about. He is working with the CBD industry. He has a factory where they manufacture the CBD oils. It's called Carmen Medicinals. You can go online. I'm going to pull it up. But Juan, introduce yourself to people, what you're doing in Miami, and how you're surviving the coronavirus outbreak. Because you're getting ready to have a baby.
Thank you,
you've got to
Kimberly.
be very, very careful.
Yes, thank you very much for having me here. And yes, we manufacture and we do medicinal cannabis products, non-psychoactive. So we work with a lot of patients, especially patients that have cancer, for their pain and for any of other symptoms induced by chemotherapy. So we've been pretty busy in that aspect. The coronavirus has brought quite some impact in the community here in South Florida. As an example, we have a retail store at the mall the weekends, and the place has been literally completely empty, and we have been forced to shut it down. There's not people, a mall that gets usually 40 million visitors a year, and now traffic is very, very, very slow. So that's a direct impact for our retail operations. And unfortunately, the two employees that we have at the store and the kiosk, we have to tell them that until further notice, they cannot come. So that's just a small impact at the microeconomics aspect of how small business or it's affected. As well, personally, for example, today I just got back from my wife is pregnant, so she's gonna be a mother in just 2 to 4 weeks, anytime now. And I was just advised by the doctor in the hospital that they're only letting in the mothers, and that's it. Like, they told me, Juan, unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to come to see the birth of your baby. So that in itself, imagine you as a father, first time father, not being able to go to see your baby at the time of delivery, and that has broken my heart because it's it's a first time father. It's a big
Yeah.
illusion. So
One, I am so sorry. I would have never ever thought about those kind of measures. I
yeah,
mean, this is something we've not heard about on the show or in our communities because we're so shut off. Wow. So, so just the mother. How do you get her there, and how do you pick her up? I mean, have they given instructions?
no, what they told me is that that's what I told them. I was like, so what? So they told me, look, you could bring her, you drop her off, and you just have to wait outside, and then we'll give you further instructions. But as of now, and I was and I mean, they were letting people in yesterday and today. But for example, at the time of delivery, they told us that until further notice. But I don't know when the baby's going to be born. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be any time now. I mean, she's 8 weeks, 8 months, and 1 week. So it's pretty crazy, pretty crazy. So what I have done, as an entrepreneur, I've looking at different technologies because biggest problem is that there's not enough testing. So I'm working on with a lab to do a rapid testing technology with a simple draw of the blood, you get the results. So I will send you more information once I have that ready, Kimberly, and
Thank
we're gonna
you.
be able to provide it to hospitals because if you go to a hospital and you want to get tested, there's not test, and it's like they're setting up tents outside the hospitals, and it's like impossible. You go to a grocery store and there's no toilet papers. There's no. There's also I'm trying to buy my baby supplies, and in some places, like even the baby bag, it's out of stock. It's people are going into like panic attacks. So
Well,
yeah.
people panic in different ways. Everybody's preparing to be locked down for weeks, which is a good thing. But I never thought or ever dreamed, and this experience that you're sharing with us is so heartbreaking because I have known you since you guys first became with a baby, and you were so excited, and that's we talked about. You can't wait till this baby's born. Let me ask you this. And I know to me, a hospital is the safest place to deliver a baby. At least for me, it is. Would it be consideration to have a housewife deliver a baby? I mean, I would be afraid of that, but
Yeah, no. The hospital even told us, look, we're taking these extreme measures because they don't even know how many potential patients are actually diagnosed with coronavirus inside the hospital. So they're just try to avoid as many people from the outside as possible to go in. And so like this, and they maintain a safe environment, and I understand that. So like if you have a sick family member or anything like that as a visitor, they starting today, at least the one that my baby is going to be born, they told us, no visitors. So about the housewife, I'm afraid because what if actually something happens and then you're going to have to go to a hospital and it could be too
exactly.
late.
Exactly.
So
That's how I feel.
yeah,
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I believe it's safer to be at the hospital. Um, but or a midwife. I called it a housewife. I'm so sorry, but a midwife. But no, you're right. It's too extreme. You've waited too long. Unfortunately, you're having to take these extreme measures. What is the feeling down there in Miami among the people right now?
I mean, like for example, um, the mayor of Miami has the coronavirus, so it's pretty. He was gonna give a press conference the day that he got positive test results for coronavirus, and so I kind of put people, but a lot of businesses like in South Beach are being shut down. Restaurants, South Beach is an extremely popular zone, and they're gonna be shut down. There's also gonna be putting into a lot of risk hotels. I have friends that are being laid off because of the hotel occupancy have gone down and they're being laid off left and right. And
Wow.
so yeah, that's the overall feeling
So we
of
need to
the
start.
situation. So the
We need to start
huh?
thinking ahead right now. We know we're going to shut down. They're guesstimating $2 trillion impact business wise in the next 4 weeks. But we need to start thinking ahead, Juan. And you're a think ahead person, and kids that think it's Sasha. We've all been around long enough. We've got to think ahead. I appreciate the fact that you're taking the initiative to help find more testing kits, and I believe in you, and I know that you will have this solution soon. I hope that you come on air with us frequently to share with us some of the different things that are going on. So your wife is from another country, and that's one of the things that we're doing is talking to people from all over the world. What are some of the things that are happening where her family's at?
I mean, my mother-in-law is not going to be able to come in to see her baby's birth because they closed the international travel down in Ecuador.
Oh, wow.
So, imagine her first granddaughter, and my wife is her youngest daughter, and she was extremely excited to come here, and they canceled all the flights. Like out of Fort Lauderdale, there's no flights to Ecuador, and so it's very unfortunate, that a lot of the family members that wanted to come and see the baby and see Amira, and that's her name, and she's not gonna be able to, they're not gonna be able to see her. So down in Ecuador, situation, it's pretty crazy. They're putting a curfew that if you're after a certain age, you cannot go out after 8 p.m. And so yeah, that's the situation in Ecuador. In Colombia as well, if you're older, if you're over 60 years old, they give you like a $400 fine if they see you outside. That's in Colombia. So I do speak with those two countries. I cannot travel to Colombia. I've they if they put you in quarantine when you get there, and I had just gotten back. So thanks God I was able to come back like just a days short before all this craziness started happening.
Wow, because you probably had no idea that this was going to hit like this. And here you travel all over the world, and in Colombia as well. So thank God you made it home in time to be with her. Um, but
Yeah.
let's utilize what we can to bring all this families together. There's social media, there's phones. We have so many ways of communicating right now. Let's take the positive. Let's protect ourselves so that we can play tomorrow. Right, live today so that we can rebuild, play tomorrow. I'm so sorry. I know my family had to cancel all their flights this week. They actually had to get certificates because we were holding a memorial service for somebody who just passed away, and we had to cancel all of that. So it's impacting the world. For a person who's passing away, I think we can wait another few months to be together as a family. My heart breaks for the families that are going through this. So, has there been much impact in Ecuador itself with the virus? Has there been word?
So, has the what?
So, has there been word from your family in Ecuador, from your wife's family? Has there been much word about of the virus impact there? Has it been a spread?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and I've yeah. I mean, they had to close all the borders. Like, see, for example, a lot of people, what they were doing is that they were going from Ecuador to Colombia in the border to fly to the US or to a different country.
Wow.
But now Colombia blocked that border. So they're saying, look, unless you're Colombian, you cannot go in. So they're just like blocking the borders in both countries that surrounds it. So like this, they don't go from one place to another and then take a flight. So that's unheard of. And
they locked
so
down all the
then,
visas in India. They locked down
Yeah.
all the visas in India, right? Ankit's from
Yeah.
India. Ankit Mitwan.
Hi,
Ankit's
how are
an
you?
entrepreneur and one of the board of advisors. We have board of advisors from all over the world that have been dialing in and sharing the impact from their countries. And we're also trying to pull together and say, how can we help the businesses survive this, right? How can we join together to get more exposure for the businesses as a group of people from all over the world? We certainly have a means to reconnect the businesses. One, you've always been very, very successful. You're a good networker, but this hurts a business like yours. This is a big
yeah,
impact.
yep.
And
It's impact
so
and opportunity as well, I think.
we need to figure out how we can help you survive. What do you need? What do you need at this moment to help your business survive?
I mean, when you depend on retail, and for example, when you sell different shops, when you sell like in the mall, and you know, it's hard because um, you have to reinvent yourself different ways. Online sales, but then on shipping, and for either way, when you do shipping and all this, you have to go to a place, so you can also not force the employees to go and do something that we've been advised to tell them that it's better to stay home. So what are the needs of the business? I know that the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, they're going to be doing lines of credits and business loans at a favorable rate with not so much restraints for the affected areas and affected businesses. So like this, they could bridge the gap while things get better. But that's why I'm looking into the business that I will send you more information, and how can I reinvent myself in this moment, and how I can adapt to the feeling, so we could help the community, because Carmen's, at the end of the day, it's a healthcare company, and whether if it's through medicinal cannabis or early diagnostics or lab testing, I always look in ways on how I could help people, and that's why I'm getting um, into the venture that I told you, because if not, it's gonna be very, very hard to survive. Sales are down, and yeah, especially in those high traffic areas that we depend on as a retail business.
Well, and the thing is that your facilities has the means to be able to develop test kits because you have a lab. Something to think about is that there are some people, say in Australia. So our Australian board member had to drop off, I guess. I miss Willie when he does that. But maybe connecting resources from around the world of how people are solving some of the problems and cracking the code, as they call it. Maybe contacting these guys and seeing how you can share the information. I don't think that this is something that people need to keep to themselves, thinking they can make all the money. I think we need to share the information, share the resources, and get it out there. I do want to share with people. I have to take a lot of medications, monthly treatment. My monthly treatments will probably be canceled, which scare me very, very bad. Because without my treatment, sometimes I'm unable to breathe, and it's not from allergies; it's from my neurosystem. It shuts my neurosystem down. But I have been trying Carmen. It does relax me. It actually makes my face look so smooth. And I don't put it on my face. I put a little drop behind my tongue to relax. I was very scared of CBD because I have so many other treatments, but I was feeling really poorly one day when I was down in Miami, and Juan convinced me to try it. He said, I'll even watch you. I'll stay here, make sure no side effects. And he did. And everybody noticed how calm I looked, like my tense face from the pain that I live in just relaxed. I almost think this is the new fountain of youth. If you relax a little bit every day, you're not going to have all those horrible wrinkles and pain stresses. And, I don't know if you can, or shipping, because of, like you said, getting things to the post office and shipping is very difficult. This has impacted everything. It's impacted the community businesses. It's impacted like you said, the people who deal in retail. What are you're shifting? You're going to help develop some test kits so that we can test for this faster. So in the future, if this rises its head again, once we get it under control, we can keep it under control, because that's very important, right? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we don't need to stop developing a means to keep this under control when we get it under control, which has happened in the past. We get it under control and we go, okay, we don't need any research anymore. And I think we need to start investing in more research. And for those of you who are scared of investing in the stock market, start investing in small businesses like what Juan has, or Ankit has some businesses. Sasha, let's start investing back in our communities. Our communities are going to need our investment money. And this is where angel money is going to come in wonderfully right now, is the local restaurants that are going to be struggling when we revive from this and rise back up. So there's other ways, as we were discussing the Dow going down, but there are other things we can invest in that is not the Dow, that we can still make a good return on investment. One of them is, if Juan is raising money, go take a look at Juan's company. If we're going to be sharing some startups. We're going to be running our show 24/7 coming real soon. And we're going to have startups come and share and get exposure so that you can invest in them. So there's going to be far better things if we just think forward. And that's what we have to do. And, Juan, my heart breaks for you not being able to be with your baby, but I do pray that your baby is born very healthy.
I'll find a way.
I do.
I'll find a way. I think I'll find a way, because
this is a story that you don't hear about, how something like this impacts a life so personally. Ankit is a 4-year-old. Ankit, will you share our good social manners from our beautiful? She calls me Auntie now. Ankit. Daughter has done a little social media, little social manners of how we should be acting sociably now, washing our hands, and things like that. Her name is Amishi. Did I pronounce that right? Amishi?
Yeah.
Amishi.
Yeah.
And Amishi shares with us every day a little skit that she did for us on social manners. And Juan, I think you'll appreciate this with the little girl coming in your life here real soon. Go ahead.
Hand over और ऐसे अपनी खांसी के भाई ऐसे करेंगे अच्छू अच्छू और कोरोना वायरस को धन्यवाद हमारा म्यूजिक सुनने का.
Oh, she's so beautiful. Thank you so much. That just touches my heart. And it's so funny because I tell people, I think of this when I'm going and I cough or sneeze. My hand goes up like this and they go, Kim, where did you get that from? And I go, my niece from India. So she's so cute. This is what you have to look forward to, Juan, is such a blessing. And we're going to have to sign off so that we can go to work. And but we are going to be running our show 24/7. I hope that if you're interested, maybe you would like to do a talk show once a day, talking about what's happening in the world. I know you're going to be very busy with a new baby, but or join us every once in a while and share with us the progress of your product and business, and as well as hopefully a new test kit. And I thank everyone. Before we go, let's share some manners. Do namaste for your
Avoid
hands.
and do namaste.
What I say is many blessings for a brighter future, And, you know, folks, this doesn't have to be doom and despair right now, though many people have died and we see the numbers going up. We can make something of this. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.